What I want to do now is show you how to crop and size the image for print. Now the best way I find of sizing and cropping an image is to use the crop tool. And what I want to do is crop to a size of 16" across by 12" high. I'll just show you what will happen if I do it to this image before I modify it. So if we go into the context sensitive menu, making sure that we got the width and height resolution selected rather than the ratio. So I'm going to type into the first box 16 space IN for inch, and then 12 space IN for inch. I'm going to leave this pixels per inch box empty, because if I put a number in there, when it sizes it to these dimensions, it will also size it to this pixel resolution, which will interpolate pixel data. I don't want any interpolation going on. I just want whatever crop size I have to remain at the pixel resolution contained in the image. I don't want any interpolation to happen. So all I need to do is select and drag across. Now you can see that because of that 16 to 12 shape, it's a 4:3 aspect ratio basically. We can't change the shape of the crop tool, and so as I drag across, you can see that to get a reasonable amount of space at the front of the planes and a reasonable amount at the top, we're cutting off the tail fin. So what we could do, it is possible to drag away from the aircraft, maybe try and compose a little bit like this, and then select the tick key, and it will actually add canvas to the image. But I prefer not to work like this because I like to have a little bit of wiggle room when I actually do the final crop. So I'm going to go back to open and we'll start again. So what I like to do is first of all extend the canvas. So the image is on what's called a canvas, and if I can extend the canvas to the left and upwards and then fill that empty canvas with sky using a process called content aware fill, then I'll be able to use the crop tool to accurately position where I want the crop to appear. So I'm going to go to edit, no I won't, I'll go to image and canvas size. Okay, so here's our menu, the dialog box, and we have options down here as to where we want to stretch the image. Now I want to stretch the image upwards and to the left. So if I go down here and click there, you can see that will be anchored at the bottom, and whatever happens will go to the left, up, like that. Okay. And the canvas that we will create will have a color. Now if we look down here, we can see we've got a foreground color of black and a background color of white. So we could have a background color of white, or we could change it to, it makes no odds, we actually create a color ourselves. It makes no odds because I'll be filling the background color, or filling this color, with content aware fill at the next stage. But what I want to go do here is with the units that we've got set, like in the ruler here, are in inches. I can show you that we can change the units that we're using. I'm going to change that to pixels, so we get a little bit of a better idea as to how many more pixels we want to add to this image, to the left and upwards. And I think maybe if we change that number to 6,500, I'll press the right buttons, and maybe the height 4,500. So we can see the original pixel dimensions, and these will be the pixel dimensions after it's created them around here. And it'll be a background color of white. So click OK. And there we have the canvas extend. Of course, really, this is no good for the image. We need to fill this, hopefully, with some cloud. So what I'm going to do is go to the rectangular marquee tool, select that, and I'm going to drag over the image, making sure that I'm inside the cloud area of the image. I'm going to press Shift and Control I to invert that selection. So you can see that I could have selected that area there and added to the selection, but just by doing the selecting that and then inverting the image, the selection, you can do that with less keystrokes. So what I want to do now is fill that with cloud, and we can go to Edit, Fill, and we have options here as to what we want to fill it with, and one of them is content aware, and this can work quite good. So I'll select OK, wait for it to work. So it's looking around from the area selected, it's looking around the image to see what it can fill this area with. Now if the aeroplanes were too close to the edge, it might start filling some of the edge with bits of aeroplane. But you can see I'll just Control and D to deselect the marching ants. And this particular image, it seems to have done quite a good job. So now I can go to my crop tool. We still have 16" by 12" selected. If we wanted to, we can make sure that that is a preset. So if we select that drop down here, new crop preset, and this little box comes up here, it's given us a suggested name, 16 by 12". OK. And now in here we should find a 16 by 12. So we don't have to fill that in next time. We can just select that and it will automatically populate our boxes there. Now all we need to do is, with our crop tool, we can drag across the area and we can reposition. So this is why I like to do it this way, because we can change the size, change the position, rather than doing a crop and extending the canvas with the crop tool all at the same time. We can kind of maybe just a little bit more sky to give them a little bit more space to fly into. Okay. Bearing in mind that a little bit of the image will be blanked out when it goes behind a window mount. So once I'm happy with that, we can select the tick tool, and we can see here in the info panel, it's still Profo RGB, 16 bits per channel. It has a dimension, so if we send it to print without any adjustments of size, it will be at 16" by 12", and it will have a printing resolution of 354 pixels per inch, which is fantastic for what we want to be doing. So the next stage will be just to do a few modifications to the image, and then we can print it.